there, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. If this is the first time you're being here, thank you so much for watching. I hope you'll decide to stay for other videos and click the subscribe button below and use the bell icon so you never miss a video. Today is another collab video with my Los Angeles colleague Lesley Logan of Profitable Pilates, and today we're going to look at side lying exercises. On the mat are the examples I've chosen for today. And on the mat, the side lying exercises that we have are the side kicks kneeling, and the side bend. And each of these progress and get side kicks is a little more manageable and easier to do than side kicks kneeling. And then side kicks kneeling is a little bit easier and more manageable than the side bend. In a moment, I'm going to show those exercises so we know what we're talking about. But in general, if you are someone whose sides are not even, you have a little more strength on one side versus the other, you're really going to have these exercises be like two exercises in one, because one side may be very available and the other side may not be as coordinated or as strong. And usually it's these one-sided exercises where you discover that information about Pilates, about your body using the Pilates method. And I always like to, I'm a big fan of the information that you receive about your body from the Pilates exercises, but often it's information that you might not want to know about. So excuse me if I'm looking down, but I have some notes and I just want to make sure that I include everything, because I've got a lot to say on the one-sided subject. So today we're going to use these three mat exercises as an example, but really it applies to all the side bending exercises throughout the Pilates method on all of the apparatus. And if you're someone who has a scoliosis or muscle strength on one side versus the other, these exercises, you might dislike them, but they really are the best things for you, and maybe someday they'll be your favorite exercise. I'm hoping. So where can we find help on our side? So let's look at the exercises first, and then we're going to look at some other exercises that's going to help us to find what we need to find for the side lying exercises. So just to give you an example, the side kicks is probably the most recognizable of the side lying exercises. Usually we do variations like front back, up down, and circles. There's lots of variations, but these are sort of the top three, shall we say. And the premise is you're lining your back up long against the mat. You have less support than when your back is on the mat because you just have your side. And all the stuff that's in your body when you're sitting up, doing a really strong, tall exercise, they still have to be in there and working, even though you're now in this lying down position. So then side kicks kneeling is pretty much the same kind of positioning, except now you're not lying on your whole side, you're just on a knee and a hand. But you'll still have the same kind of variations. You'll have a front back, a circle, and maybe a bicycle. And again, all the same stuff in the trunk of the body that's happening when you sit up on the short box or when you sit up on the mat is still happening in there, ideally. You just have less support on the mat. And then finally, the side bend, let's use the other side for a moment, is the same tall shape. Now, just the edges of your feet and a hand are on there, and you're going up and down. So, sometimes I find when you don't get to have your back against something, depending on who you are, it's hard to kind of know what's going on back there. And you're pulling your stomach in, but there still may be parts of you that's not in that tall, straight kind of line that we like in Pilates. So let's go back to the premise of the Pilates method, why we start the method and the exercises lying on our backs, and we'll find some support and some help. So now we're going to do one of my very favorite exercises, which is the one leg circle. So on the one leg circle, the good news is your back is on the mat. So you have a template for what your back could be as a straight line. You can pull your stomach in, you can stretch your leg out, and you can really determine what is on the mat and what is not on the mat. And then your leg being up, if you can imagine the side kick on the side with the leg going front, this is pretty much the same action, the same shape you're creating with the back and the leg. So here, you can, we're just gonna do like sort of a part of the exercise. Instead of a circle, we're just gonna reach the leg upward to see that this all stays still. So I'm gonna pull my stomach in. I'm gonna stretch my leg up to the ceiling. And I'm gonna see if anything moves in here. And then I'm gonna reach my leg as though I could take it to the back, which I can't. And then I'm gonna do the other side. So this kind of action is a really good information. When you lift your leg up, does your hip leave the mat? Does this kind of work out or get bunched up and click and do weird things? That's all good information. So I'm gonna pull my stomach in and I'm gonna reach my leg up as much as I can without altering what's going on my back. And I get to about here. I could go higher, but then I'm gonna lose some action in my seat and I'm gonna feel this kind of taking over a little bit. And then down. So that's one way that you can work on what's happening on your back if you're on the mat. Of course, on the reformer, we have other exercises where you get to lie on your back. We have a high chair where you get to do a sitting up exercise and keep your back on the mat, as well as the armchair. So they're all really good places you can learn what that shape is so that you can then be on your side and try to replicate that shape. And you're really using your mind and your imagination, your memory of what you did when you were on your back to really inform and control what you do in space, on your side, upside down, all those kinds of things. Okay, so then we're just gonna up the ante. We're building the skill now from that one leg circle where you get to lie on your back to the side kick. So actually, let's do that now in real time. So I'm gonna do a couple times where I reach my leg up, and you can play along at home as well if you like. I'm gonna pull my stomach in and keep everything working and reach it up, and then reach it like it's going backward. And reach it up, and reach it down. I'm gonna do one more. Woo, actually this is kind of hard. And now I'm gonna do the other side. So now I'm going to take that skill to the front back of the side kicks. So I'm going to pretend that I'm still lying, making my body do the same things as when I was lying down on my back. And I'm going to bring a leg forward without changing anything. And now I can actually reach it backward. And I want to pretend that everything is still exactly on its imaginary mat back there. And now I'm going to do the other side. And try not to get too distracted by the moving part of your exercise. What's really important is the part that's not doing anything. So how did you do? Let's take it into the side kicks kneeling and see what happens. So I'm going to pretend that I'm, again, still lying on the mat. And I'm going to take my leg forward and back. And as you do these three exercises, you'll probably feel the progression of your skills. That each one is increasingly more challenging. You might notice one side is harder than the other. This side's a lot harder. Not that I didn't know that, but it's always nice to be reminded. And then it's going to be a little bit different in the side bend because it's not a straight shape, really. It's a little bit of a side bend as well as a line, shall we say. But let's give it a go. The same stuff needs to be there, so you're almost tricking your mind to think that you're just straight, because I think that'll go a long way to doing the exercise well. So I'm gonna find all of my stuff on the mat before I get up in the air, and then I'm just gonna try to keep it and imagine that everything is long on the mat as I go up and down. And as I come down each time, I'm gonna see if anything fell out. I'm gonna try to pull it in. Oh, I think that was the bad side. I'm not sure, but maybe this is. So try those exercises. Use your exercises where you get to have your back supported in against something. The one leg circle on the mat, sitting up on the high chair, sitting on the armchair. It's all going to inform your back and your muscles of how to make that nice long shape on your side. Whew. Pilates gives you a nice rush. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions or want clarity on anything I've talked about in the video, please leave me a comment below. If there's other exercises or concepts in Pilates you'd like to look at, just let me know, and I will see you next time. Be sure to check out Lesley's video. I'll leave it in the info box below. Bye! So now, you're a little bit more having to stay up in that balanced, tall, upside down spot. And this is a prime exercise where people really like to park themselves more on the shoulders in a shoulder stand, but really the control and the balance point